to J.P.'s World of Wrestling. I am your man J.P., and today we're continuing on with the Royal Rumble. That's right, the Royal Rumble in reality just happened last month, and since I've been really busy, I haven't really been able to finish. But today we are concluding Volume 2 of the DVD anthology box set with 1997. Now, in 1997, the Royal Rumble took place in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. And so because it was in San Antonio, they included a lot of Mexican wrestlers, a lot of the Lucha Libre style wrestlers, and in fact, they even had like a 6-man Lucha Libre style match. And there are many Mexican superstars in the Rumble itself, including one particular legend. We'll get to that. So, 1997 starts off with Intercontinental title, Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Goldust. Now, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, this is when he has started bringing China down to the ring with him. And I think this is right before DX formed. But China was there at ringside, and Marlena was there with Goldust. And so at one point, Goldust kind of had the match well in hand, but Marlena had been knocked off the ring apron into the arms of China, and China, kind of gave her a hair, started like kind of whipping her around and stuff to where her arms were just basically lifeless. And Triple H took advantage, delivered the pedigree, becomes the Intercontinental Champion. And so at that point, of course, Goldust doesn't care about the title because that's his wife. Okay, so then we had Farouk versus Ahmed Johnson. Farouk, of course, came in and formed the Nation of Domination. And so him and Ahmed Johnson started feuding, where Farouk would say some derogatory things about Ahmed Johnson and about his, racial affiliation or something. And so, of course, Ahmed didn't like that, sparking a feud. And we're off to the races with Farouk versus Ahmed Johnson. And then we had Vader versus The Undertaker. Vader, at this point, was being managed by Undertaker's former manager, Paul Bearer. And so Vader, of course, it's natural that Vader eventually would feud with Undertaker. And so that was a pretty good match. Okay. Yeah, they made a 6-man tag. And it was 6 Mexican Lucha Libre style wrestlers. And the match was so where's Guerrera, Heavy Metal, and Jerry Estrada versus Pedro. I don't know. Bunch of Spanish names. But yeah, that's like the Lucha Libre wrestlers that were at Royal Rumble 97. And so, yeah, then they had the Royal Rumble match, which was won by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, that was kind of controversial because Steve Austin had already been eliminated by Bret Hart. But because both of the referees were kind of tied up at the other end of the ring, trying to get Terry Funk and Mick Foley out of there, the referees didn't see the elimination. So Steve Austin snuck back in and eliminated Bret, wins the Royal Rumble. And then Bret kind of goes on a tirade saying, hey, I won this thing. I eliminated Austin. They didn't see it, obviously, but I won. I should have my hand raised. So he goes on a tirade, goes to ringside, starts yelling at Jim Ross and Vince McMahon. And I think that's kind of the start of when Bret Hart turned into a heel or a bad guy. So then we had a WWF Championship match. We had Psycho Sid taking on Shawn Michaels in his hometown of San Antonio, Texas. Now, every time Shawn Michaels was out there, you could hear this woman at ringside. I think she was a member of Shawn Michaels' family or something, but she was whistling like really loud. And you could hear it audibly. And so yeah, Shawn Michaels wins the WWF title. But at some point between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, he submits the title because he lost his smile. And so he gives up the title, and Sid ends up winning the title back because it's Sid and Undertaker at WrestleMania 13, which was the very next one. So anyway, yeah, Stone Cold wins the Rumble match, but Shawn Michaels wins the title from Psycho Sid. So, oh, and I have to talk about, so Mil Mascaras was in the Royal Rumble. They brought him in as like the big, Mexican superstar, this big legendary masked wrestler from Mexico. And apparently, now I don't know that this to be factually true, but according to Bruce Pritchard in his podcast, Mil Mascaras showed up that day and kept saying, no yup, or no job, meaning he wasn't going to let anybody beat him or eliminate him. Well, he wasn't going to win the thing, so they had to figure something out. So Mil Mascaras took it upon himself to eliminate himself. And apparently there were a few wrestlers that had just been eliminated. And so Mil Mascaras, during the Rumble, goes to the top turnbuckle and does the spiral move off the top turnbuckle onto the floor, eliminating himself. So that's how they kind of solved that problem. So it was kind of an interesting moment in the match. I don't know. Maybe some of you care, maybe some of you don't, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Anyway, that was WrestleMania. Royal Rumble 1997. 97 was a pretty good year for both WWF and WCW. It was I consider it to be the last year of the Federation years of the WWF, because it would be later on in 97 that they would start going with the Attitude Era. So anyway, that's that, and that's the final edition of Volume 2. So therefore, we can close the book on Volume 2. Now, I haven't decided whether I'm going to continue on and cover the Attitude Era Royal Rumbles. I may or may not. I mean, even though I didn't care for the Attitude Era, it was a big time for the WWF. So, I mean, I might still talk about them. And plus, 98 is one of those Rumbles where I used to have the VHS tape, so I've seen it many, many times over. So, anyway, that was 97, and that's the end of Volume 2. So that's going to do it for this video. So what did you think of Royal Rumble 96? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Why or why not? Leave in the comments below. If you're new, feel free to like and subscribe and share. And I will see you, next time.